I was 25, unemployed, and running out of excuses. I applied everywhere, even places I wasn't really qualified for. The silence hurt more than the rejections. At least rejection meant someone read my application. Meanwhile, family gatherings became unbearable. Every uncle, aunt, and cousin suddenly thought they were career experts. When are you going to find a job? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Their voices blended into this endless chorus of criticism. It didn't matter that I was trying. To them, effort without results meant nothing. I stopped going to family dinners because I couldn't handle the judgment. Every meal felt like a reminder that I was failing. Then, out of nowhere, hope appeared. A close friend who had been working abroad messaged me. His company was hiring, and he told me to send over my resume. He promised to put in a good word. I didn't expect much, but within a week I had an interview. 2 weeks later, I got the job offer. The pay wasn't amazing by international standards, but compared to being stuck at home, it felt like a golden ticket. For the first time in months, I felt excited about something. I told my parents, expecting at least a little joy. Instead, it was like I had announced I was moving to Mars. My dad's side of the family especially went off. Why would you go so far away? What if something happens? Your friend won't take care of you. They acted offended, like I was abandoning them. My mom's side stayed mostly quiet, but my dad looked torn. One night he sat me down. His voice was heavy. I just don't want you to regret this. What if it's too hard over there? I said, Dad, I've been here for a year doing nothing. Isn't that harder? He didn't respond. He just sighed, like my words hurt more than he'd admit. The final straw came at a family lunch. My aunt smirked and said, if something happens to you there, who's gonna help you? I snapped, are you going to help me if I stay here and stay unemployed forever? The room went quiet. No one met my eyes, because they all knew the truth. They hadn't helped me before, and they weren't about to start now. They only wanted control. My mom, the quietest person in the room, was the only one who whispered, if this makes you happy, go. That was all I needed. Packing my bags felt surreal. I had so little money saved, and the idea of starting over in a new country terrified me. I didn't know the culture, I didn't know the people, only my friend. The first weeks were brutal. I got lost more times than I could count. Grocery shopping felt like solving a puzzle. At work, I stumbled over words, worried I was embarrassing myself. There were nights I cried into my pillow, wondering if my relatives were right. Maybe I wasn't cut out for this, but slowly I adjusted. I learned the streets, the language, the rhythm of life there. My paycheck started to come in, and I realized something. Even with the fear, even with the mistakes, I was building a future I could actually call mine. A few months later, I sent my parents a little money and some gifts. It wasn't much, but it was more than I'd ever been able to give before. My mom cried when she opened the package, and then, like clockwork, my dad's side of the family started calling. The same people who told me I was making a mistake. The same people who tried to scare me into staying. Suddenly they were proud. We always knew you'd make it. You're so brave for chasing opportunities. I laughed to myself, because I remembered every single word they said before I left. Where was their pride when I was struggling? Where was their support when I couldn't even afford to hang out with friends? My relatives never paid my bills. They never helped me get a job. They never offered more than advice and criticism. But the moment I found my own way forward, they wanted to be part of the story. I let them talk. I don't bother correcting them anymore, because I know who really believed in me and who didn't. And when I look back on that moment, I realized something important. That was the day I stopped living for other people's approval, and that more than any job offer is what changed my life.